Jai Hind viewers, we welcome you back to another episode of Dialogues from MRO Digest Forums. Today, the topic we are discussing is Aviation MRO. We have with us Mr. Arun Krishna, who is an expert in this field. He is a BTech from NIT Kurukshetra and MBA Finance. He has extensive experience in avionics industry in planning, manufacturing, MRO, and lean assembly and testing. He specializes in technology, R&D, engineering, strategic project management, collaboration, and problem solving. He is a member industry in Academic Council of Rajakiya Engineering College, Ambedkar Nagar, and member Board of Studies in Kamala Nehru Institute of Technology, Sultanpur. He holds many certifications, which include Independent Director from IICA, Managing the Company of the Future, Design Thinking for Innovation, and Supply Chain Principles. So thank you for being with us, Mr. Arun Krishna, especially on this very special day, soon after we have successfully landed on the moon with our Vikram lander. And so the first question which comes to mind is, how is the global MRO scenario and ecosystem as you see it? Mr. Arun Krishna, please.
Yeah, good morning, General Jastage, and good morning to all the viewers of MRO Digest. Let me first congratulate each and everyone for the great achievement Indian ISRO scientists have achieved for the India for soft landing of Chandrayaan-3 on moon on 23rd of August. So it's a historic moment, and all of us should rejoice this. So to start with your question, let me begin with from where I left in the last discussion which we had about the MRO topics only. And if you see the global perspective, the global landscape, the total MRO business or MRO market share is at present to the tune of around $80 billion. And it is continue to grow at the rate of around 6%, and it will reach to around $120 billion by the year 2031. Now, with this growth rate, we must have to understand that across the globe, region-wise, what is the contribution of MRO market share across the globe. So, if you see the North America, at present, it is from $18 billion, and it will move to around $24 billion till 2031. Likewise, Latin America from 3 to 4.5, Western Europe from 13.8 to around $22 billion, and African countries from 2 billion to around 3.5, Middle East from 6 to 13 billion. And if you see the Eastern Europe from 4 to 6 billion. But now when we see the Asian Pacific region, which includes India and China, it is at present holding a place at around $21 billion, and it is likely to grow at a CAGR of 8% and expected to reach around $46 billion. So when we see across the globe, the market share for MRO in the Asian Pacific region, specifically India and China and Asian region, is amounting to around 1/3 of the total MRO market across the globe. So this is the size of the market which we are talking about. Now, coming back to the which India has got, I will divide it into two categories. One is the commercial, and second is the defense oriented. Now, when we see the commercial aspect, India, specifically focusing on India. So India is having at present 20 odd aircraft at present in their fleet, commercial aircraft. And around 1550 aircraft is on order, which is likely to be supplied progressively by 2031. So total, if you see by 2031, the total fleet size will grow to around 2,200 or 2,300 odd commercial aircraft. When we see the armed forces, because there also all varieties of aircrafts and helicopters and the transport aircrafts, UAVs, all sorts of things are there. So if you see their size, the Indian Air Force alone is having around 1,850 odd aircraft, helicopters, and transport aircrafts. Whereas Army Aviation is having around 280 odd, Naval is having around 230, and this Coast Guard is also having around 60, 65 aircrafts. So around 2,500 nearly aircrafts are with defense forces. So this is the volume of the business, volume of the MRO business, which is at present in India. If you take whether defense or you take the commercial aircraft. Now, this is the landscape on which we are talking about. And why I am talking continuously about the MRO business and opportunities is there are triggers. There are triggers that with such a huge market across the globe, and specifically in the context of India, there are a lot of OEMs which are doing MRO business are coming to India. They are tying up with the Indian partners. Indian government is also giving a lot of initiatives to foreign OEMs to come to India, partner with Indian OEMs. There are government initiatives to increase the regional access by the connectivity, aircraft connectivity, as well as you must, and it is very, very important to note that only 4% of the Indian population has ever traveled by air. So conservatively, if you see that, if you expect that around 40% or 50% Indians will fly by air in the coming years, there is a huge lot of passengers which will be traveling by air, and thereby it will require more number of fleets for the MRO. So this is the volume and this is the landscape and of aviation. And when we talk about these numbers, this is the size of the MRO business which we have at present.
Well, thank you very much for that, Mr. Arun Krishna. Though you have touched upon it, but could you tell us in more detail about the global trends and also the KPIs for the industry? Mr. Krishna, please.
Yeah. To enhance the efficiency and differentiate in their services, many global OEMs have are harmonizing their internal processes with the digital technologies like IoTs to increase the transparency and to reduce the downtime, the use of artificial intelligence as far as the virtual monitoring of the MRO needs are concerned. Then this 3D printing for manufacturing of small spare components for the aircrafts. Then cloud-based data analysis for understanding the customer needs, what they will be requiring for the MROs. Then augmented reality and virtual reality for improved fleet serviceability. So these are some of the global trends which every MRO industry or company needs to follow. So because these are the global trends and these are the latest technologies which are being followed by the global standards. As far as the KPIs are concerned, you see that there are, if you see, if there are number of aircrafts in the fleet, whether it is defense aircraft or commercial aircraft, the first and foremost requirement of any organization is to reduce the number of aircraft on ground, AOGs. So first and foremost KPIs will be to reduce the TAT for the AOGs. So this is the first and foremost KPI. The second is order fulfillment cycle time. From the receipt of the order till the time the aircraft is handed over as serviced aircraft. So this is the another parameters on which the organization is judged on key performance indicators. Second is the inventory management, how the total spares requirement for the MRO needs are managed by the organization. So this is another parameter. And the supply chain and asset management, like warranty and return cost, as well as utilization of the fixed assets which they have created for the MRO activities. So these are basically global trends and KPIs which are being followed by best of the companies in the world who are engaged in the MRO activity.
Thank you very much for that, Mr. Krishna. So, obviously, industry of this nature will have many challenges, and there's also a lot of potential there for us. So could you just tell us about that, Mr. Krishna, please?
Yeah. In order to understand what are the opportunities in the aviation MRO and what are the challenges, we must analyze the MRO cost, how this MRO cost is affecting the business, and what is its constituent as far as the total revenue of the organization which are doing this MRO business. So it is very, very important. So any airlines or any organization is spending around 12 to 15% of their revenue for the MRO activities only. And in this 12 to 15% of their MRO cost, the line maintenance constitutes around 8%, the components around 22%, the base maintenance is around 10%, and engine and auxiliary power units MRO activities constitute around 60%. So if you see the first three categories, Indian organization or Indian industries are able to do MRO to the extent possible. But whereas the engine and auxiliary power units are concerned, there are limitations, and many organizations are sending their engines and power units to outside countries. So these are being serviced by foreign OEMs. Now effort is now to bring this also in India. And so there are a lot of OEMs who are coming to India, like we have large fleet of Boeing, we have large fleet of Airbus. So Boeing is has tied up with the Airworks, then Airbus industry has tied up with the GMR, HAL has tied up with the Air India Engineering Services. So these are the tie-ups which are already in place for the MRO activities. And what I told you about the fleet size and all that and MRO business potential, it is estimated that in the coming 5 to 10 years, around 31 to 32,000 pilots will be required. And around 26,000 to 30,000 technicians will be required for this MRO activity if we continue to grow the MRO activities in this fashion. Now, added to that, there are already 170 airports in India. There are 50 more airports are being added in the coming 5-10 years. There are 33 cargo units, cargo management units are being set up. There are 15 new flying schools which are coming up. So these increased logistic will definitely be requiring more manpower and thereby increasing the opportunities for the MRO activities for the young technicians. As far as India is concerned, whether it is done in India or it is done outside, India has got an added advantage of larger pool of graduates, engineering graduates and technicians, technical manpower, as well as the talent pool is the highest in the world. So whether it is done in India or it is done in outside, because the labor cost in India for this MRO activity is to the tune of 30 to 35 US dollar per hour, which is 60% lower than what US and other European countries are having. So there is a lot of scope outside India also for these people for the MRO activities. So this is one area. And then added to that, in India, what I told you about the vast scope of the fleet of commercial aircrafts as well as the defense aircrafts, there are requirements, and requirements will be continuing to grow at the rate of around. So if we see by 2031, around 31,000, I told you, it will add to that when the fleet size will increase. So around 80,000 to 1 lakh technicians and pilots will be required for this MRO activity. So this is the type of volume which we are talking about. As far as the challenges are concerned, there are challenges. There are for foreign OEMs when they are coming to India because of the tax structure, because of the GST. So Indian government need to rationalize this tax structure, provide some tax holidays for initial period of some 2-3 years till the time they settle in. There are requirement for GST flattening of around 5% constant rate for the spares. So these are a few things which I think Indian government need to do in order to encourage the MRO activities in India. The refund of GST also is for the MRO service can be thought of by the Indian government. Then the regulation of the maintenance technician across the world, if you see, these technicians who are work in the MRO activities are regulated by some certifications by the regulation authorities. So anyone or anybody who is doing the MRO activity needs to get certified by DGCA for the MRO activity. So Indian government should work on these lines also. So whosoever is interested or whosoever is aligning to work in the MRO activities are certified workers so that they can work in India also, or they can work across the globe. So this is how we can create the opportunities for young talent pool which India is having. So this is about the challenges and opportunities which I see for the MRO activities in the aviation MROs.
Thank you very much, Mr. Arun Krishna, for that very detailed coverage of the entire industry with all data and giving very positive suggestions for the industry to grow in India. And as we always say that MRO is a major, can contribute hugely to our comprehensive national power. And from what you said, I'm sure that many of these things, our listeners can look at them and consider them for their own manner in which they can take it forward. With that, viewers, we come to an end of this particular dialogues episode. The link to Mr. Arun Krishna's LinkedIn profile is in the show notes below. You're welcome to get in touch with him for further information. You may subscribe to our channel if you like our content. We look forward to having you back with us for our future episodes. We are a group of MRO professionals who have come together, and we talk about MRO and technology in general. And we've got many experts who we request to come and give you talks. And if you wish to join our group, you are welcome to get in touch with us with one of the links below. And once again, thanking Mr. Arun Krishna for his excellent views. As I said, I bring this to a close. Thank you, viewers. Jai Hind.